What's going on, everybody? It's Nice Pants Lance. I'm out on this beautiful fall day. This is probably going to be one of the last nice weeks here in Western New York, but I want to address a few questions today. You guys always hear me boasting about the Triumph Speed Twin's versatility, and in my review that I made, I even took this thing off-road a little bit. So I want to dig in a little deeper on the off-roading, and I want to answer the question, can the Speed Twin off-road? Also, do you need a scrambler to off-road? Lastly, what kind of off-roading can this bike do? So, to answer that, I'm going to fire it up and take it to a little private track that I know. It's like an off-road course. It's open to the public. It's completely legal for me to be on there. So let's get into this off-roading business. First and foremost, this bike is a modern classic. It's essentially Thruxton R that got the Bonneville treatment. So this is an upright, naked bike with a 1200cc motor in it. Now, a bike like this is definitely road going. I mean, it comes with Pirelli Rosso 3s, and that is definitely not an all-terrain tire by any means. Alright, we've made it to one of the entrances to this ADV park. Let's see what this thing can do on like just a regular straight fire trail, you know, with some divots and rocks. Now I'm just standing up right now, and I'll tell you, it feels completely comfortable. Doing about 15 miles an hour, and honestly, I feel like a kid again. I used to ride a mountain bike all the time. Okay, ground clearance definitely compromised right there. Although I did not bottom out, I didn't scrape my X-pipe on the ground, I definitely did reach the limitations to this bike's suspension. This has got cartridge forks in the front and, you know, shocks in the rear. Obviously the Triumph Scrambler has upgraded suspension that's able to handle this kind of stuff. But so far I feel somewhat comfortable on this gravel. It's not a big deal. Let me test it again. I'll get going a little faster down this road. Ooh. You know what I just realized? I just realized I am in sport mode. Let me change this to like rain mode, so it's a little more gentle. Doing about 20 miles an hour right now. And I'm not gonna lie, even when I'm doing like 25-30 miles an hour, it actually feels very composed. Very, very composed. Whew. Had to stop real quick to avoid that bump. Sheesh. Alright, where to next? Alright, I want to stop at this little side area here. I know for a fact there's a little bit of grass and gravel and stuff that I can play around with. And I want to test the low speed maneuvering of this bike off-road, or at least on a surface like this, which is common on fire trails. So let me just turn that traction control right off. All right. Open this visor. Whew. Okay. Interesting. So it's not too bad for low speed maneuvering on this. Yeah, this thing gets a little loose. Woohoo! Oh, alright. Get into the grass a little bit. Dang, this thing drifts around quite a bit. But I'll tell you what, I still feel really in control. The problem is that I can't really dig into the ground. And I think that's because I currently have Pirelli Rosso 3s on. That's definitely a street tire. So I'm not really going to get a ton of grip and traction on the gravel and grass. But boy, she's got plenty of control. Alright. Just got to be very gentle. So I can definitely feel that the clearance, the ground clearance, is compromised quite a bit. Whew. This is fun. This is actually a lot of fun. So good news about Offroading and Triumphs is they are going to come out with a line of enduro and off-road focused bikes, like small displacement, like actual dirt bikes. Not talking about just a scrambler. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, get it. Sliding all over the place. Oh. Oh, that's wicked. Okay. You know, she didn't do too bad in that little lot area. I had a ton of fun right there. Well, I did a little low-speed maneuvering on grass and gravel. I also went down a little fire trail at higher speeds. And that's all I really had to do to get an impression on how this performs off-road. So, can the Triumph Speed Twin go off-road? The answer is yes. Yes, it can. This bike is perfectly fit for light off-roading, fire trails. I live, living in Western New York, I don't really have to take any off-road paths to work, but I know there's plenty of people on the planet that may have to go through a wooded path or do some light off-roading to get to work or commute wherever they may be. So this bike is good for it. It can do off-roading, but the level of off-roading, it really depends. Really depends on how you're going to use this bike. So my second question, do you need a Triumph Scrambler or any kind of scrambler to go off-road? The answer is no. No, you don't. To be honest, really where these scramblers shine is their styling and the fact that they're kitted with knobby tires rather, and long travel suspension that's usually adjustable. But most of those scrambler bikes are really just naked adventure bikes. Any bike with a set of knobby tires can do off-roading. As you can see, this bike is fitted with Pirelli Rosso 3s, and I was able to navigate pretty good off-road. So no, you really don't need some sort of scrambler bike or dirt bike. You don't need some adventure thing unless you're really going to do some serious off-roading. Which brings me to my next question: what level of off-roading can the Speed Twin do? Really light off-roading is what this bike is capable of. It's just got too many factors going against it. It sits pretty high up, but the lack of suspension, the road focused tires, the motor honestly is overkill for off-road. This bike has got too much power for off-road, to be honest with you. The combination of this not having knobby tires and the poor suspension really just makes this amount of power unusable. So this bike really does not have the suspension, the ground clearance. It's just not fit for any serious off-roading. If you put this particular bike in the woods, yeah, you would struggle. When I was doing low speed maneuvering, mind you, low speed for this bike is like 5 miles an hour. Low speed for like a dirt bike is like crawling. Is this bike good at crawling? Absolutely not. So would this bike really be able to handle the true low speed maneuvering in a wooded forest or something? No, absolutely not. You'd get in big trouble. It's also a little heavy to be off-roading with. This bike is like 432 pounds wet or something like that. So it's around 450 pounds, I imagine. This is still a little too heavy to be off-roading. If you drop this thing a bunch of times in the woods, yeah, you'd be done. You would be toasted. I'm sure there's plenty of guys out there that do more off-roading than I did today just on their way to work. I bet there's plenty of people out there that off-road like that out of necessity more than I did just for fun. So sorry to disappoint you guys. I hope you didn't expect I was going to be taking this thing off any sweet jumps. Although I'd love to, but I need to keep this bike in good condition, so when I trade it in for something better, I get my money for it. But all in all, this bike can do some decent off-roading. It's much better off-roading than any cruiser, any sport bike. If you like this bike and you want to see more of it, go find my full Triumph Speed Twin review on my channel. Please like and subscribe if you dig this video. You want to see me do a little more off-roading. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all the support.